Rooch, I'm sorry. Until the Red Sox win a game and stop this mini skid, I'm buying into that they're reverting to form.
Yeah.
And offensively, I've watched pretty closely the last couple nights. It's less patient at bats, which I absolutely hate. I hate these guys. They're up, 2-0 in the count, and they're hitting ground balls to second base. Chasing pitches outside the strike zone. Alex Cora was always really big on that with strike zone discipline. It's bad at bat after at bat, and that can build on one another up and down the lineup. And that's what I see from this Red Sox offense right now. It's concerning to me. I know that pitching is still good, and great. The pitching's still good. You need to score runs, and the offense has hit the skids.
Yeah, the offense has hit the skids, or, looking at it through my vantage point, the offense really never got going. I pointed out during the 15-game winning streak that, their offense had increased, but really the only difference in the winning streak as opposed to when they were 14 games under 500, the games were still 3-1 and 4-2.
Sure.
There was not suddenly, the Red Sox, found this offensive outburst. They just happened to be winning those games. And as I said at the time, that's not sustainable. End. Fact. It's not,
sure,
it's not sustainable. So, especially, like, look, if this had been a lineup with guys like David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez that had pulled this turnaround, I would not be saying this. And so maybe guys like Ceddanne Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu, and the rest of the lineup, the Monasterios of the world, maybe they will, continue to build on this. But what's more often the case, and more likely in this instance, is that these guys revert back to the mean, which is just the nature of things. And they went so far over that a little reversion is to be expected. And like you said, this is a team that's based on pitching, but that clutch hitting and that offense that really sort of propelled them was a bit of a mirage to begin with. Again, we mocked Buster Olney the other night. Look at the tear the Red Sox are on.
Yeah.
Over the last month, they're barely a top 10 offense. Let's throw a parade. And I'm sorry, Caleb Durbin, I'm so sick of hearing him. Like, he's the best 240 hitter since Trevor Story.
Oh, they got a lot of
cares?
those. They got a lot of good 240 hitters.
And I just don't the lens through which that guy is viewed. Yeah. I mean, the meme, like, find yourself somebody who looks at you like so-and-so looks at Find somebody who looks at you like the analysts look at Caleb Durbin's 240, 11 home run season with the Red Sox. You'd think he was Carl Yastrzemski back in action.
The Red Sox are obviously scuffling right now, but when they do get runners in scoring position to go 3 for 36, you have no chance because the pressure on the pitching staff is way too much. It's funny, Rooch, you mentioned, Papi and David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez. We've seen Rafaela maybe do it for a little bit. Certainly, Contreras has, quote, carried this offense for a stretch, a small stretch. I think Abreu, probably those three guys are probably the only ones on this roster who can, and small C carry an offense for, 4 games a week. They have nobody who can carry this offense for 15 games. Even during the super hot stretch, there was no one person who was like, wow, he's making an MVP run here because he's doing an Aaron Judge. They don't have that guy. They need multiple of the players I just mentioned being pretty good at the same time. That's maybe a lot to ask.
Yeah, I mean, we sat here before the season started, right? Isn't that exactly what I was slightly bullish on the Red Sox. It's like, look, this isn't going to be the type of lineup that goes out and scores 1 million runs, because one guy's hitting 40 home runs and the next guy's hitting 30. You're going to need contributions regularly up and down the lineup. And as I said at the time, that seemed a little pie in the sky. And here we are, at the past the trading deadline, heading towards the playoffs, and to the point, night in, night out, 3 guys, maybe in your lineup that you can depend on, and a couple of those you're projecting that you can depend on them, right?
Caleb Durbin,
exactly.
Right?
So no, I mean like Rafaela and Abreu.
Oh, the stars, yeah.
Yeah, they've done it now, but we're talking about the playoffs, right? And again, it's a catch-22. You can't prove yourself until you get there. But that's what I mean about projecting. There really are so few positive projections, and that's been the case even when they were hot. So to see them struggle and fall back on, their inability to score runs really isn't all that surprising.
Rooch, we talked about this before it got started, before we started the show here. The highest, so the Celtics went for 6.1 billion only in 2025 to Bill Chisholm. And then the Lakers, a large piece, not 100% of the team, by the way, but a large piece of the team, to this guy Mark Walter for 10 and a half, or whatever it was, just in late 2025. And now it's up to 12.5 billion. Again, not rock hard numbers because a lot of this is, leveraged and whatnot. But what is the key thing? I think the key conversation piece here is, how does this affect the fans? They have to pay the players. They have to buy the team. I hear so many fans say, I can't afford to go to games anymore. That's not going backwards. It's only exploding forward when teams and owners are buying these, franchises for 10, 12. I can only imagine if the Patriots would ever sell their team. Of course, the Crafts have set it up where it's going to go to the next generation of the Crafts. If the Seattle Seahawks just went for 9.5 and an NBA team is going for 12, the Giants and the Cowboys and the Patriots have always been at the highest end of the NFL valuations. We're probably talking $15 billion and upwards in the next couple of years. Of course, if they ever become available, and that's the trick because there's so few of these marquee teams like the Los Angeles Lakers that become available.
Yeah, and well, first of all, this deal smells to high heaven. That reasoning that, who's that, Ramona Shelburne?
Yeah.
Just reeled out there that we were looking at an expansion team and we thought, hey, what the hell? Why don't we just call up the Lakers and see if they'll take our 25% premium offer? Yeah, right. I mean, the guy who's selling the team is under investigation and indictment and things of that nature.
He's insurance fraud. He's an insurance king, and he's under investigation for insurance fraud.
He owns the Dodgers too, and
maybe he should grab $2.5 billion to help him.
Right. There was talk that he was going to flip the Dodgers and the Lakers in one sort of massive deal. So first and foremost, this smells, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't ultimately go through. Secondly, Adam Silver's got a problem on his hands with the optics of his basketball teams in Los Angeles. One of them is funneling money through minor league soccer teams in order to appease their top star, allegedly. And the other one's being passed around like a flipped piece of property. That's just not a good look for the league. And to your point about ownership and families, that day's over.
Really is.
Unless very specifically Jeff Bezos wants to buy a team. No, and these people can't afford these teams, and even the ones that can don't want to. These people buying the Lakers, quote-unquote, buying, they can't afford to buy the team, and that's really, to your point, where this starts. The trickle down to the fans and everybody else is the owners, when they're leveraged to the hilt. Look, I've been complaining about John Henry not spending enough money and the salary cap in Major League Baseball that he and his owners want. This is why. Right? Because so then you can cruise in with your private equity, buy the team, and through public relations and union busting, lower the amount that you have to pay everybody while you jack up the prices. Private equity is on its way to ruining pretty much every sport, and this is probably just the latest example.
Well, it's interesting. If you follow private equity at all, they get excited by 1.5x, 2x. X means times, okay? So if you get 3x in a deal, that's 3 times your money. They just paid $12 billion. They can't sniff 3x for 20 years, maybe forever. So,
and that's what I've talked
about. To
your point,
right? to get 1x out of a $12 billion deal is really difficult to do.
Yeah, we talked about it last night with the Cooper Flag trading card, for crying out loud. You have people, both in the trading card industry and in the private equity industry, that see what happened in the past, right? So people like us, KMac, we see, the generation before us, man, if they had held on to those trading cards, look what had happened, right? I could have had millions and millions of dollars, while these private equity goons are looking at someone like Robert Kraft and someone like Jerry Jones and all of the, existing owners of these teams, and they're like, wow, That guy bought that team for $500,000.
$75 million.
Right.
Right? Didn't the Patriots get bought for like
Right.
$75 million?
And to your point,
And now
these
you can
guys-
buy him for $10 billion?
Right. So those guys are going to see 5, 10, 20x on the investment. Sure. And for reasons that I still can't completely understand, modern buyers are for some reason expecting the same sort of profits. And the only way, to your point, that you can come close to that is if you jack up the prices and lower the amount that you're paying the players and putting into your stadium and things of that nature.
Kraft bought the team for 170. My mistake, 170. But
Yeah.
there's a big delta, right, between 170 million and 12. No, it'll be more than 12. If the Patriots went up for sale right now, what would they go for? I think you said it was the Cowboys, Giants, and Patriots.
Right.
Or the top three in valuations as a rule, right?
Right. So the Cowboys are at about 16 right now.
Okay.
So again, this deal smells. Like the Patriots would have to receive also a 25% premium on their valuation to get close to a number like that. So no, I don't. I think the Patriots would probably sell for around $13 billion, something like that, which is north of their valuation right now, but south of the Dallas Cowboys. They're just not as valuable a property. But again, this gives away the game. What I said, right? So how can they make the money? They can jack up the prices. They can lower their costs. That's good. But the real way they make the money is simply by leveraging these investments, these teams, as part of their growing portfolio.
Sure.
We've watched John Henry do the same thing, right? You don't need to have the team and have them be good. You only need to have the team on paper as a paper asset, and that allows you to borrow hundreds and hundreds of millions more dollars against your asset.
All right, that's the end of high finance class. Good luck to the Los Angeles Lakers and all their red ink in the next couple of years.